Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm really excited to kick off our Fusion Fundamentals series with a big question. What is SQL comprehension? We'll talk about what it is, why it matters, and how it powers the DBT Fusion engine. So, here's the thing about most SQL tools, including DBT Core. They've always been really good at rendering SQL, but understanding it, not so much. So what do I mean by this? DBT Core could take your models, your Jinja, your macros, and stitch them together into executable SQL. It understood your project, right? So the structure of your DAG, the relationships between models, and kind of how everything fits together. And this is powerful, like don't get me wrong, but once that SQL was generated, DBT didn't actually know what was inside. It couldn't tell you whether a column name was misspelled, whether a function was being used incorrectly, or if a specific data type was about to wreak havoc on your data warehouse. DBT Core is a string templater, not a SQL thinker. And that's been true for nearly every tool in the analytics stack. They could run your code, but that was about it. The ability to truly understand SQL, to move from reading it to actually knowing what it does, is what we like to call SQL comprehension. And SQL comprehension kind of happens across three different layers: parsing, compiling, and execution. So today, let's kind of break down each of those three layers a little bit more deeply. So first one, parsing. At this level, a tool can read SQL and understand its structure. So it recognizes that a select has to be followed by columns, that a from points to a table, and that commas and parentheses need to be in the right place. Parsing gives you a syntax tree, basically a map of what's in your query and how all of those pieces relate. If you've ever had a linter catch a missing comma or highlight a mismatched bracket, that would be level 1 comprehension at work. And this is useful, but it only tells you whether your SQL looks right, not whether it is right. Which brings us to level 2, compiling. And this is where things really start to get interesting. A compiler doesn't just understand the structure of your SQL, it knows the semantics. It can tell you that date add takes a date part, an integer, and a date in that order, and that trying to sum a string column is going to fail before it ever runs. At this level, the tool binds real metadata to your query, so column types, function signatures, and dependencies. It understands how data flows through your transformations. And this is where you can start to get real static analysis, so you can catch logic errors and type mismatches long before execution. And this brings us to the third layer of execution. And this is where your database lives. An engine at level 3 doesn't just understand your SQL, it runs it. It takes that logical plan, maps it to physical hardware, optimizes the order of joins, and returns rows and columns back to you. It's comprehension and execution working together to actually produce results. And with the DBT Fusion engine, DBT now joins this club. Fusion brings real SQL comprehension into DBT itself, meaning that DBT finally understands your project at a deeper level than ever before. And with that, it unlocks a whole new set of developer experience features. Things like real-time error detection right in your IDE, intelligent auto-completion for functions and columns, instant previews of compiled SQL as well as refactoring across your project, and a deeper understanding of your project like model lineage as well as column lineage. So the net effect is a faster, more confident, more DBT-like way to build your analytics code. So that was a very brief overview of SQL comprehension. If you want to learn more, we have a handful of amazing developer blogs that dive a bit more into the topic. And other than that, go download DBT Fusion, go take it for a test drive. You can use it locally in something like VS Code. We have a VS Code extension, or in Cursor, or you could use it in the DBT platform itself. So once you have a project set up in DBT platform, make sure it's running on the DBT Fusion version, and you should be able to go right into the Studio IDE and see all of these amazing developer features right there. So that's all I have for you today. I'll be back next week. We'll be talking about a bunch of different Fusion topics over the next few weeks here in this series. I'm looking forward to it. Until next time.